What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Belle Collective. This is Season 3, Episode 13, and the episode is titled Belle Biv de Rodeo. So we start this episode off with Tambra Cherie, and she's with Greedy, aka Damon, and they are at their ultrasound appointment. So we all know that Tambra was the one who was pregnant. This is her first time being pregnant. This will be their first child together. And Damon was over there getting teary-eyed, okay? Now, Tambra having this baby, it's kind of like a miracle baby situation because as we all know, she had to get 39 fibroids removed, okay? And that is a very, very high number of fibroids, okay? She had to get those removed, and she ends up talking to the doctors, and they're like, listen, we just want to make sure that you are safe. They let her know that she's going to have a C-section so that way she can deliver this baby safely. And honestly, I wish Tambra the best in this situation because she has wanted a child for a very long time. And we all know that Tambra wanted to have that fairy tale story of you meet the guy, you marry him, then you have the baby and all of that. But I feel like in this situation, she can't be too mad about it because she already knew Damon for all those years before. So, yeah, good for her. I'm pretty sure she's probably had her baby at this point because this was filmed a while ago. But nonetheless, let's move on. So we see Letitia, okay? She is meeting up with So Gucci at this boot store, right? Now, don't worry, y'all. Letitia, she's like, I don't even know why I'm at this boot store because I got some boots. Because y'all know she has spoken at the Babes in Boots events before. And I'm just like, not Babes in Boots. Y'all just be coming up with some names for these little events y'all be coming up with. Okay. So they show like the photos of her and all her boots. And we finally see Gucci, right? Y'all, I know So Gucci has a great body. I know. We all know this. However, that outfit, it was a little young. It was a little young for So Gucci. I can't even lie. I'm just like, this outfit is super cute. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like it was a little young. And Gucci, you could have let your daughter wear that outfit. Let her wear it. You don't need to, okay? Nonetheless, Gucci basically wants to invite everyone to the rodeo or whatever. And that is why they're at this boot store. They're shopping for boots to wear. So there's this younger guy who is working at the boot store, right? And we have Letitia over here flirting with him. And I'm just like, but why? This young man looks like he can be your son, Letitia. Please stop flirting with him, please. Because it's bothering me in my spirit. But nonetheless, Gucci decides to bring up the fact that, Latrice said some things at the brunch that Letitia threw. And let Gucci tell it, Latrice is the talk of the town, and everybody is letting her get away with a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, what exactly are they letting her get away with, girl? So Letitia, she says that a lot of people, they were offended by what Latrice said at the panel. So Gucci, she is out here lying, talking about some, this was really hard for me to bring this up to you. Girl, you've been talking about Latrice every chance that you get. Straight up. Now, when it comes to what Latrice said at Letitia's event, do I feel like what she said was the worst thing that could have been said? No, I don't think it was the worst, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I feel like they are definitely putting 20 on 10 when it comes to this. But let's go ahead and move on because, y'all, we see Marie and Essie. Where has Essie been? I don't know. But baby girl is back, okay? So they are talking about all the things that they have planned, and they actually have a lupus gala coming up, and they want it to be for the community. And I absolutely love that. I love the fact that these ladies, they both are suffering from lupus and they have the ability to give back to the community because they are not the only ones who have lupus. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really dope. So next thing you know, Letitia shows up. I'm like, okay, what Letitia got going on? But hold on. Letitia is all about her business this season. Because y'all not about to say, and what does the Enterprise do anymore? We learned that Letitia has actually teamed up with Essie and Marie, and they basically have a business of like flipping houses into like assisted living properties. Now, y'all, when I first heard them say this, I was like, wow. Like, I just did not expect for that to be the business that they were dealing in, but I love it. I love to see these ladies be about their business. I love to see it because we've all been questioned, like, okay, Letitia, we know you got your brunches. What else are you doing? Marie, we know you got 50-11 businesses. Let's see what you're doing. I love that they have teamed up together. We may not have gotten, the Fair Street thing going so far, but I do love this idea that these ladies are still able to work together in business for real and not just for the show. So she ends up, Letitia, she ends up inviting them to the rodeo or whatever. And out of nowhere, y'all, after we wrap that on up, here comes Essie being messy, okay? She says that she hasn't been on social media. However, when she recently got back on social media, she saw an interview that Latrice did, and let's just say she was not so nice about the girls. Because I guess the person asked her something about Letitia and Glenn, and she was basically saying that, she's not friends with anyone on the show. Everybody is just coworkers. Now, I don't know if Latrice was using that as an excuse to not have to answer any questions about any other ladies. Because technically, if I'm just your coworker, I don't really know what's going on in your personal life. So I don't need to answer any questions for that. I don't know if that's what she was trying to do or if she really feels like, these girls are not my friends. They are just coworkers, which is very fine if she feels that way. Now, Letitia, she feel away because she's like, I actually FaceTime that girl, the same day that she did this interview, and they definitely had a conversation that was not about work. So, of course, you already know Marie got something to say. Marie, she feels like Latrice is using Letitia because she is only coming around now because Letitia is getting all these opportunities to do like these speaking engagements in other places, right? Like Marie has it in her head that Latrice wants a piece of the pie because at the end of the day, Letitia is getting all these opportunities to do these speaking engagements, be known in all these other places, and it's creating a great opportunity for her to travel and do all types of things. Now, do I think that Latrice is using Letitia? To an extent, she absolutely could be. I'm not going to say she is or she isn't, but she could be. She could look at it as, why is Letitia getting all these opportunities? Let me go learn from her, and then I can be doing the same thing. But also, on the other hand, you are already on a platform. People know who y'all are because you're on Belle Collective. So opportunities, they may be coming to Latrice anyways because she is an entrepreneur. She has her business with her hairline and all of that. However, because she's not comfortable speaking in the public, she may be turning stuff down. You know what I'm saying? And maybe she's actually reaching out to Letitia so that way she can give her some pointers on how to be a public speaker. Now, before that scene was over, you guys, did y'all catch when Marie, she told Essie, she was like, yeah, because it's S with the mess. And I was like, wait, isn't there a YouTuber that always says that? Is it Alexander Rogers, you guys, who always calls Essie S with the mess? Or is it somebody else? Darn, I can't remember. But y'all let me know which YouTuber it is. Nonetheless, it just further lets you know that the girls be watching the YouTubers, okay? Nonetheless, we move on to Tambra, and she is meeting up with Latrice. Now, of course, Tambra is only ordering water everywhere she goes, okay? And Latrice, she's like, yeah, let me get some Remy. I said, girl, you need to stop with the Remy, because now everybody think you got a little drinking problem, okay? So we actually see that within this conversation between these two ladies, Latrice has gone to the doctor and she has found out that she has fibroids. And, through her entire relationship with Cliff, she says that she's never gotten pregnant, even though they never use condoms. Now, I will say, in this scene, I was glad that there is somebody like Tambra there, so that way she can have a conversation about this openly, because we all know Tambra has had her struggle with this, okay? We learned that in season 1, I believe, that she has struggled with fibroids. I love the fact that these women are able to talk about this, because Latrice is scared to have her surgery, but Tambra is telling her, no, you're going to be fine. You know what I'm saying? She's encouraging her. And then we also learn that Tambra, she is a part of a whole thing where she's advocating for a certain bill to be passed, so that way there can be more research done on fibroids. And I'm like, okay, Tambra, we love to see it. Like I said, I love the fact that these ladies are able to have this conversation, because fibroids, they definitely affect a lot of Black women, and I love that they are able to have a real conversation on this show. Yeah, we love the drama, but we also love the real conversations. Now, the thing about Tambra is that she is still keeping her pregnancy to herself, and I don't blame her. But y'all, let's get to the rodeo, okay? So they get to the rodeo. Everybody has on their cowboy hats and their little their cowboy boots or whatever. They see a real life bull. So all the men, they decide to get on the bull, take photos or whatever. And I can't lie, I was annoyed, because when Letitia walked in with Glenn, I was over it. I'm just like, oh, I forgot. She got back with Glenn. Nonetheless, they are at the rodeo, right? Where they're actually performing or whatever. Tambra, she thinks that all of this is animal cruelty, and I agree with her. I'm like, why we gotta rope these animals up? Whose idea was this? But nonetheless, you have Letitia and Glenn. They are sitting in one row, right? Now, behind them is Tambra, Latrice, and then it was Cliff. Now, out of nowhere, here comes Cliff. He goes to sit right behind Glenn and Letitia. And I can't even be mad at Letitia for getting annoyed, because it's like, Cliff, why are you here? Did nobody tell you to come over here? You don't need to be all up on Glendale like that. Why are you sitting all the way over here? You should be over there with your wife. How about you go do that? So next thing you know, they take, the whole group to the bar. So at this point, Marie actually shows up. She said that she couldn't be there earlier because she had to do something with her kid, which is understandable. So now you have Marie. She's sitting next to Tambra and Latrice. Well, baby, that ain't gonna work, because those three people do not like each other. That ain't gonna work at all. So we already know they're not gonna say a word to each other. And then it basically breaks off into Latrice, Tambra on their own little island, and then everybody else is mingling. So Marie, she ends up sitting next to Glenn. And we already know the last time those two saw each other, it was when she was making sure Letitia came back in the house, because she was not about to have Glendale talk to Letitia any old kind of way on that front porch of that place that she was about to rent for Letitia. So yeah, things did not go well the last time that they saw each other. So Marie, she feels like, listen, Glenn, you keep trying to put Cliff before your wife, and that's a problem. And I was like, okay, I agree. I absolutely agree. Because this little weird relationship that Glenn and Cliff have, it is extremely strange. So next we see Letitia. She's talking to So Gucci as well as Aikisha. And she's telling them about how Glenn, he asked her out to go, like, oh, let's go to like a comedy club, right? She's like, yeah, we can go. So next thing you know, when he saw her again, I believe at like her office or something, he's like, if I don't fit your image, let me know. And then the ladies are like, so where did that come from? Like, how you get from that place to that? Well, it's because Cliff decided to send him an article that he read about some other couple having some type of issues in their marriage because their images did not match. And I'm just like, wow. It's crazy to me that Glenn is really letting Cliff destroy his marriage. Like, it's crazy. But he was so worried about Marie getting Letitia that house. She was going to lease the house for her. You worried about that? Nah, you worried about the wrong things, buddy. So Akeisha, she's like, why does Glenn keep letting Cliff dip into y'all business? And at the same time, who is Cliff to be giving advice to anybody? Exactly, because we see how him and Latrice, they are not on the same page ever. So Letitia, she feels like, even on the day that they were doing this rodeo scene, she had some issues with Cliff because Glendale had just got in town, right? She said, oh, I already bought his outfit. However, for some reason, Cliff decided he was going to, buy him a hat. I said, why did he bring a hat though? Like, that's not your man. You don't need to worry about what he's wearing, Clifton. Why are you so worried about Glendale? It got to the point where Letitia, she had to tell him, no, you gonna wear the hat that I bought you. I'm not... Listen, Letitia, you are better than me, because please know, if he would have put that hat on that Clifton bought, oh, we wouldn't have been going nowhere. We absolutely would have been going nowhere. It's definitely are you choosing me or are you choosing Cliff situation when it comes to this marriage? So, y'all, we gonna see how that plays out this season. So, Letitia, she then goes on to tell the girls about the Latrice interview, saying how, she said that we were just co-workers. And Akeisha, she's like, no, we're just co-workers. But y'all, I thought y'all was friends. Now, I was like, wait a second, Akeisha. This makes me wonder who you think is your friend in this group. And do you feel like everybody is a co-worker? I'm just curious. But nonetheless, we also learned that in this interview, because we only saw the clip of what Essie saw. Well, I guess Letitia must have looked at the whole video because Latrice, she also said something slick about having a business on Ferris Street. Now, I completely forgot that Akeisha was not at the brunch that Letitia had. So Akeisha, she doesn't exactly know what was said at the brunch. Was Latrice drunk? Like, she don't really know what's going on in that situation. However, once she has found out that people are saying, she was drunk and all this stuff, she's like, well, that just makes me wonder, why is she drinking in every setting now? And I say, you know what? That's actually a valid question, and I can't even knock you. One thing I will say about Akeisha is that Akeisha seems to be very sensible. Like, the questions that she asks always make sense. It seems like she actually cares for the other people, regardless of if she's getting along with them or not. Yeah, Akeisha, I kind of like her. I do. But let's go ahead and move on. So, we actually see Latrice coming to see Letitia. So Latrice is here because she still needs some help with public speaking and because she has an opportunity to speak at a cosmetology school. Now, one thing I will say is that Latrice, she did not know what she was about to get with this meeting with Letitia, and it was very clear. Because Letitia, she's like, oh yeah, congratulations on that. Oh, and by the way, thank you for coming to my brunch and speaking. However, she had to go ahead and tell Latrice how, what she said, it offended some of the guests at the brunch. And Latrice, she feels right in everything that she said because a lot of people don't want to work a 9 to 5. Now, I cannot lie. When we talk about the basis of the brunch is for women who are entrepreneurs and the women who want to transition into being an entrepreneur. Therefore, if I'm on a panel, I would not be surprised, or if I'm looking at, a panel and I'm here and everybody's going to tell me how I'm going to become an entrepreneur, I would not be shocked by somebody saying, who wants to work a 9 to 5? The whole point of this thing is so that you encourage me that I can leave my 9 to 5 and I can start a business and I can do this, that, another. That's the whole point of this. So I'm not even looking at Latrice crazy for saying that. I'm really not. Now, I do understand where Letitia is coming from when she says, well, the people who work under us, they work 9 to 5 jobs. Now, I actually like the fact that she brought that up because that is one thing that I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, they do not realize. And that is that the people who work for you, it's not their company. Therefore, they're not going to put their all into your company. But that's for a whole nother day to have that conversation. Nonetheless, Letitia, she brings up, how she was upset that Latrice was drinking so much Remy and all of this stuff. Now, Latrice, you know what? I'm not even going to judge you for drinking Remy. You want to know why? Because, Letitia, let's not forget that before everybody went out there, they took shots and you were also serving champagne. So at the end of the day, if you're going to call her out for drinking Remy, you got to call out everybody for drinking, period. I'm just saying. Letitia, that means moving forward, when you have panels, you need to make sure that your panelists, they are not drinking until after they're done speaking. How about you do that? I'm just saying. Nonetheless, Latrice, she keeps telling Letitia that she's not about to tear her down. Now, I can't lie. When I saw Latrice's face, it looked like she wanted to cry in that moment, okay? The whole time, it looked like she was fighting back tears. And I'm just like, yes, she was not prepared for this conversation, clearly. She did not know that this conversation was coming to her. And I feel like she did not really know how to handle it. But nonetheless, Letitia, she then goes further and brings up the video that Essie showed her or whatever. It showed her everything that Latrice said. And Latrice is like, no, you're more than a co-worker. And Letitia is like, listen, I'm done defending Latrice because every time I defend her, it causes issues with Marie. Now, Latrice, she does apologize for saying that she was just a co-worker or whatever, but Letitia's fed up, okay? She's like, listen, every time I go to bat for you, you beat me with that same bat. So Latrice, she circles back to her line, you not about to tear me down. And Letitia is like, no, you're always the one who's tearing people down like what you did to So Gucci. Baby, they start to going back and forth and back. And Latrice says, well, listen, since I'm the problem, let me eliminate myself from the equation. So Latrice, she feels like these ladies are always tearing her down. And here's my thing. Do I feel like the ladies are always going at Latrice? They do. Like, Marie has been going at Latrice since episode 1, okay? Nothing has changed since then. However, Latrice, you've also been going back at the ladies. I do think that this is a tit-for-tat situation when it comes to you versus the ladies. Now, when it comes to this situation with you saying how you were just co-workers with people, I do think that you should have been more specific and said, hey, I don't feel that way about all the ladies. I'm close with some of them. However, some of them are just co-workers. You definitely should have corrected that. The one line that bothered me in this whole situation, though, was when Latrice said that this was 10 times worse than when her husband tore her down. I said, no, girl, no, that's a lie. Because we all saw him going in on you without a mic on, and we can still hear. We heard him go in on you. And it was terrible. Terrible. The way your husband downed you like that. So, Latrice, I understand that you still trying to cling to this little marriage that you got. Baby girl, what Letitia said, she was just trying to have an honest conversation with you and hold you accountable. What your husband did to you, that was tearing somebody down. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I feel like, the Bells, they are coming back slowly but surely. I feel like this season is going to get real juicy or real good. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Y'all team Latrice or team Letitia? Let me know in the comments. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.